Hi mommies, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since my last video. This time I want to share with you my labor and delivery story. So I gave birth when I was only 20 years old on March 20, 2018. My story begins on Saturday, March 17, 2018. I had just switched doctors because I found out that the doctor that I've been seeing for the past 9 months doesn't promote breastfeeding and works at a hospital that will not follow my birth plan. I had to change doctors because I had to follow my birth plan. My birth plan states that I'm aiming for a normal and natural birth, and that I want to breastfeed after, and that I want a companion in the labor room, stuff like that. And so the hospital where my first doctor worked at could not follow that plan. So I changed doctors at the last minute. I changed doctors at 38 weeks pregnant. And at our first meeting, we had the regular checkup. And she asked me if I've been feeling some contractions. And I told her my stomach would frequently contract, but there's no pain. So just to make sure, she put me under the NST, or the non-stress test. So this is the test where they put some straps on your stomach which could monitor the baby's heart rate and also the contractions, the frequency and the intensity of the contractions. According to this machine, my contractions were intense and frequent enough to be called labor, or I was starting labor. So I was in the beginning stage of labor, wherein contractions are still irregular, meaning they come every 10 minutes or maybe 30 minutes. Nagsa-start na yung labor, but it is not necessarily the sign na manganganak ka na. Medyo matagal pa yan. So this was Saturday, March 17. Then on Sunday night, March 18, I started to spot a little, just a little bit. But there was still no pain. And then in the morning of March 19, Monday, when I woke up to use the bathroom, I saw a jelly-like discharge with blood. Upon texting my OB, she confirmed that it was the mucus plug going out, which is a sign of labor. I went into the hospital to get checked, but I was still 1 to 2 centimeters dilated. So, matagal pa. They say to keep walking, let gravity do its job because gravity will bring the baby down naturally. When the baby goes down, napupush ng baby yung cervix, napupush na yung mucus plug, napupush na yung bag. This will trigger labor faster. So, after that checkup, I went to the mall and walked all day. And my contractions started at the mall. It went from 10 minutes apart to 8 minutes apart to 4 minutes apart. So I went home that night with having contractions being at 4 minutes apart. But the pain was still tolerable. I went back to the hospital at 4 a.m. because I just wanted to check. I was just so excited. So I wanted to know my progress. So I went into the hospital at 4 a.m. And when they checked me, I was only 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. So I was sent home again. I went to Jollibee for Jollibee breakfast. I watched the sunrise. Ayun, nagle-labor pa ako sa Jollibee. I was having contractions at Jollibee. Then, pag-uwi, they told me to sleep. But then I couldn't sleep out of excitement. So I kept walking around. Which was one of my biggest mistakes, I think, because I didn't sleep. I wish I slept so I would have energy, but instead I was so excited that I just kept walking. Come March 20, Tuesday, we went back to the hospital at 12 p.m. because the contractions were getting closer together. Upon checking, I was 3 to 4 centimeters dilated, so they admitted me. I was admitted at 1 p.m. And here's where the complications started. At my labor room, I was only lying down. For some reason, I wasn't allowed to walk around, which I thought I would be able to do. From what I know, walking around will help with labor. So I don't know why I wasn't allowed to walk around. So complications like stalling of labor happened. So tumitigil yung pag-contract ko. From contractions that were 3 minutes apart, biglang naging 10 minutes apart ulit. Biglang naging 15 minutes apart ulit. Until now, I don't know what happened. Bakit nag-stall? I wish I had the chance to walk around. I think it would have helped. And then another complication was I was having contractions, but the machine wasn't reading anything. So there was confusion between me and the doctor. So I would tell her that I just had a big contraction, but the machine says there was no contraction. So the doctors were actually doubting me that I had low pain tolerance because the machine would read that there were no contractions, but for me, I knew I just had a contraction. So my advice is to get strapped properly, get your belly strapped properly, and have your doctor check your stomach when you're contracting, just to be sure. You can't really rely 100% on these machines. Another complication would be at every contraction, my baby's heart rate would go to 0. And this indicated that he was being strangled by his cord. So every time my stomach would contract, the cord would get pulled and it would get more cramped in there. So the baby was getting strangled and I was at risk for cesarean section. All of this in mind, the stalling labor, the risk for cesarean section, the risk of the baby had to be out soon because he was getting strangled. The doctor gave me oxytocin, which is a hormone that would trigger labor. The oxytocin worked immediately because from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I only gained 2 centimeters because I started from 3 to 4 centimeters and at 5 p.m. I was only 5 to 6 centimeters. And then suddenly in the next hour, I went from 5 to 6 centimeters to 9 to 10 centimeters. And I actually felt the pain. I really felt how fast my labor progressed in that last hour. The contractions were suddenly 1 to 2 minutes apart. They were very intense and I felt something down there. I'm not sure if it's the cervix or my hips, but something went like this. I felt it opening like this and shaking. And imagine that was happening in seconds. Like I was contracting, then suddenly something was going like this. I called the doctors because they were outside my room. I was shouting that I want to push because there was no one in the room with me. They were all outside. So I was shouting, gusto ko na mag-push. Parang I feel the need to push. Parang I feel like lalabas na. Like, doc, lalabas na. Something like that. They were shocked because they just checked me around 30 minutes ago and I was still 5 to 6 centimeters dilated. Then they asked me, Are you sure lalabas na? We just checked you. You're only 5 to 6 centimeters. Then I told them yes, and my pain level is 9/10 na. Then they were like, but you're only halfway. Then I said, can you just check me? Because I feel like I need to push. Then when they did an IE on me, it was confirmed I was 9 to 10 centimeters dilated. They rushed me to the delivery room. And while waiting for the anesthesiologist, which I requested for at the last minute, out of panic because they were telling me I was only halfway, but I was saying that the pain was already 9 out of 10. So if you're telling me that I'm only halfway, maybe I won't be able to do a natural birth. So can we please call an anesthesiologist already? There was no one on standby because my birth plan was for a natural birth. The anesthesiologist came in very late. So while waiting for him, the doctors asked me if I wanted to practice pushing. So at every contraction, I practiced pushing. Then suddenly, while practicing, the baby was crowning. Then my bag popped from the pushing. Then while that was happening, anesthesiologist came in finally. Then I stopped pushing. Then they curled me, and then he gave me a small dose of anesthesia, which was called a saddle block. So I didn't get the epidural. It was just, what I got was an injection at the spine, and it only lasted 2 to 3 hours. So, and then the effect was instant, came in seconds, and then I pushed 3 times. My first push was right, my second push was wrong, and then because it was wrong, they told me to just think about pooping. And then at my third push, I thought about pooping, and yeah, the baby came out. And since the cord was wrapped around his neck, ayun, walang iyak. So the doctor was telling me, Isabel, nandito na yung baby mo, nandito na yung baby boy mo. Then yeah, I was waiting for the cry. And then after a few seconds, nagka-cry na din, and then he was laid on my chest. And it was the best feeling ever. Then I suddenly realized why people love having babies. There's no feeling like it in the world. Feeling ko talaga it was just me and my baby in the world. It's like time stopped. It was the best feeling ever. That concludes my birth story. It's not very exciting. I just wanted to share this story because I remember when I was pregnant, I always watched birth and delivery stories on YouTube to know what to expect. And this is my way of being there for those who are in the situation that I was in. To those young moms who are afraid right now pertaining to the birth part of, just know that there have been millions of women like you, young moms, teen moms, na kinayanan naman nila and kakayanin mo rin. Just to clarify, I'm not promoting unplanned pregnancies, teen pregnancies, young pregnancies, but we had to face that it happens. And to the women who are in that situation, you can get through it. Your body was made to have babies. So don't be afraid of giving birth, because giving birth isn't a sickness. It's not a disease that will kill you. Pain is just part of the process, but the pain is not there to kill you. The pain is there to bring a baby out. I hope that this video makes you feel better about your situation. I hope that you gain more of an idea of what to expect on your birth, during your birth and delivery. If you watched this video till the end, thank you so much. And if you like this video, please subscribe and comment down below if you have any questions about my story or any questions about labor and delivery in general. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.